Dragon or just Jahia Moon. As you guys know, sometimes I do reviews on animes, but I've been doing more reviews on the mangas from the last review I did on Blood Bank. Now, this manga is called Killing Stalking. I'm going to put a warning out right now to anyone who wants to read this book along with me. I've already gone as far as it's letting us. It is not for everyone. This is your warning now. It is in color. It kind of is a yaoi, but what sets it apart from others, there is gore. There's a lot of gore in it at times. There are torture in it. And there's a little bit of split personalities going around. And a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome going on in this right now. When I started reading it, I was like, well, okay, so we got one character who's, you know, kind of like, he kind of reminds me of Elle at a very young age. You know, he's got the black hair, he's got the dark circles under his eyes. Well, he got obsessed with this one guy. Remember what I said? There's always one guy that everybody likes. Well, he figured out how to get into this guy's house through a touchpad. And I was like, well, you probably shouldn't be doing that. And it just took a 180 spin. It escalated just like that, so quick. And every second that you guys are going to be reading this, if you got the guts to read it, you're going to be scared for this kid. I still am. They've kind of stopped it at a very interesting spot. And when I say interesting, I mean like, you don't know now what's going on. You know, you think it's like, well, why all of a sudden now is he being quote unquote so nice? Because that's what I've noticed in this book. The guy can go from being really nice to just psychotic. And when I mean psychotic to where it's scary. I was literally on the edge of my seat on this book, more than I was with Blood Bank, which, by the way, they did do some updates on Blood Bank, and I've been reading that too. But it was more on edge. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, it was hard for me to read. Not because of the reading, but because of some of the scenes and some of the stuff they're showing you. I mean, the kid goes from having terrible visions of almost like everyday things to even him seeing his own death. And it's so nerve-wracking. And, you know, he tries to poison the guy. It didn't work. He wound up poisoning himself, but he managed to get it out of his system, so he didn't die. But he's so thin and so frail. It kind of struck me of his will in this situation, and that's what makes it so scary. And that's why I'm warning you guys now. It is not for everybody. You know, it's not, you know, it is a yaoi. There are going to be some scenes, but there are more of the gore and torture scenes than there are of that. And that's why I say it is not for everybody. I didn't know going into it. And I'm kind of glad that I stuck with it, because that would have been driving me absolutely insane. Actually, to be honest with you guys, when I started it, they only had 3 chapters, and now I think they have like 16. I am going to leave the link in the description below, so you guys can go read it if you have the nerve. If you like gore, like if you like gory movies, and you like those kind of torture scenes, you might like this. But you may not like it. It may be too much for you. I, for one, I got so paranoid after reading it, I had to double check that all my doors and windows were locked, and it didn't help that my dog started barking, and I'm like, well, okay, fine, we'll go check the house. And you know, I kind of like it when a book can get me to that extent, because it really shows that they put a lot of time and a lot of effort making this story. And the fact that it is all in color, you know, I gotta give credit to the art department. And yes, where I go for these books, they sometimes they do ask people, you know, support us, do this, do that. So what I'm trying to do is to let other yaoi fans, and not even that, guys, I shouldn't say, this website is not just for yaoi. They also have yuri, and they've got some other things too. So they do have it for both sides, and they've got everything under the sun. I don't know about the yuri, but I know with the yaoi, they have over 115 pages of books that you can read. Some are fanfic, and some are not. And this one, I don't know how legit it is, but I'm going to tell you, if they made this into a movie, it would be scary. You know, if they kept pretty, even with some of the sex scenes, but if they kept it to the book, it would be terrifying. I think it would be more scary. I can't even think of the most scariest movie I've seen that I could compare this to. It would probably be like Saw. It would be like that. You're going to be into that kind of torture. But it's not like, it's a visual torture, but it's also a psychological torture. So when you get in the mind of this character, which, by the way, they call him Bum. The guy calls him Bum. B-U-M. That's his name. That's what the guy calls him. And you can just see this kid. He's scared every minute. You know, he's terrified every single minute. He's always afraid of this guy. Because, I mean, when you first read it and you see what this guy's capable of doing, you can understand why this kid is so scared. And the one time that he messed up big time, and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to hit, he didn't hit him. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And that is what's so scary, is he goes, the guy goes from being really, really nice to really mean, and he'll be mean for a while, then he'll go nice again. And it isn't until you read on further, I'm just going to tell you guys now in case you guys don't want to read it, it's not until later that you learn that the guy came from a broken home. Now, there's a mystery going on how his parents died. The police are trying to pin it on him that he killed his mother and his father, but yet he loved his mother. So he's kind of making the kid kind of dress like his mother, which I'm like, okay, that's just, okay, how do we get from here to here? And it's interesting also how he treats him. He was giving him a little privileges, and then he broke those privileges, and then he was back to living in the basement. And what makes it scary is he's that everyday guy. You know, he's the high schooler that everybody likes. All the ladies like him. But they don't know about this other side to him. And that's what makes this book so scary. Besides the gore. If you took away the gore and just showed a little of the torture, it would still be very scary. But like I said, the nightmares that this kid has, the visions that this kid has, and you have to figure it out. Oh, and just for a fun fact, guys, the kid knows when this guy's coming home because he sings only one song. Killing Me Softly. And I was like, oh my God, you picked the most beautiful song to torture this. The kid, he knows. When he hears that song, whether the guy's singing it or it's playing, he knows he's on his way in. So that to me was like, oh my God. I'm telling you guys, it left me on the edge of my seat, but at the same time, it was like a train wreck. I wanted to look away, but I just couldn't. I had to know what was going to happen. And I can't wait for an update on this book. As sad as it is, I really want to see what happens to our poor little hero. You know, and if you guys read, you'll find out why he stays. you guys will find out why he stays. He does try to get away, but it doesn't really work. Anyway, guys, I see our run time. We are out of time. So, as always, this is Emp Jahia Moondragon, and as always, I will see you in the next anime. Bye-bye!